Hi, it is a pleasure to be here. I'd like to start with the little clip from European Union website.
PAHA, part funded by the European Commission. Europe faces a demographic challenge. Each year, the life expectancy in the old continent increases by 3 months. The number of people aged over 65 will double over the next 50 years. 2/3 of the 55 to 69-year-olds and about 3/4 of the over 70-year-olds only seldom or never exercise. This will put an enormous pressure on our healthcare systems, unless something changes.
The Promoting Active and Healthy Aging project, the PAHA project, is focused on people between 55 and 65 years old. The project will run in 8 countries: Denmark, Finland, Germany, Greece, Portugal, Ireland, Hungary and the UK. Through a structured and supervised exercise program, the aim of Europe Active is to simply convert currently inactive people into regular exercises at the level that is beneficial to their health.
Passa por ser um meio social para eles, passa por ser uma forma de terem o tempo ocupado, de se sentirem bem durante esse dia, durante aquela semana. É uma forma de estarem com pessoas e então aprenderem e mexerem-se e fazerem tudo e mais alguma coisa para no fundo se sentirem bem diariamente. Como é óbvio, ao nível de saúde, vários benefícios que vão estar inerentes. Possivelmente eles todos, mesmo todos que estão inscritos, têm a tensão elevada e a maior parte da medicação. Possivelmente isso é uma das coisas que se vai notar logo, a nível da tensão arterial. Têm colesterol, vão-se começar a sentir melhor física e como é óbvio também a nível de saúde não está muito bem, com certeza.
É evidente que alguns músculos respondem, mas isso é as tais dores que eu gosto de ter. Não gosto de ter outras, mas estas gosto de ter.
Through the support of Technogene and the use of My Wellness Kit, we'll be able to develop a methodology by measuring the physical activity levels during and after the project.
É um semear e certamente esperemos e estou certo que sim, que a colheita irá ser boa.
Physical activity can help Europe's older generation to remain independent and maintain a good quality of life. This is what PAHA is all about.
So, there are many problems without physical activity. For example, 13 billion people have coronary heart disease. 1.5 million people suffer from heart attack. So one of the main problems is being obese or overweight. It causes many problems, starting with high blood pressure. Because of physical inactivity, type 2 diabetes increases, hypertension, coronary heart disease, and other illnesses increases. And it is very costly, especially in United States. They do many studies to overcome this issue. And to cure these illnesses, it is very costly. For example, 147 billion per year medical costs for obese people in 2008. And per year, each person spend around $100 for being obese. So death rate, mortality rate is higher in unfit people compared to fit people. If the BMI, body mass index, is normal, it is less chance of to be dead, to have mortality. If you are obese, it is higher than being normal BMI rate. There are more risk to be dead. People, when they are older, they tend to be leaner. So if it is normal, under normal range of BMI, they have higher risk of being dead. As you can see on the graph, this is the highest risk if it is under normal BMI. When you look at the graph, arteriosclerosis, it is a clot in the arteries. When you are not physically active, there is higher risk of having clot in your arteries. This is sedentary people, this is exercising people. The arteries are narrowing down, so blood doesn't go back to the heart. So problems starts after that, like high blood pressure, diabetes, and other issues start after having this clot in the arteries. If you have arteriosclerosis, inflammation starts, injury starts in your arteries, and it may cause cancer, diabetes, and other issues in your body.
Atherosclerosis is a disease that affects the blood vessels called arteries, which carry blood to the organs of the body. Normal arteries allow blood to flow freely. However, these arteries can become hardened and narrowed by deposits called plaques. These plaques are made up of cholesterol and inflammatory materials. This disease process is called atherosclerosis, and it can occur in any artery in your body. Atherosclerotic plaques build up over time and can decrease the amount of blood flow to the area the artery supplies. Atherosclerosis can begin at a young age, even though it may not cause problems until years later. Atherosclerosis increases the risk of kidney failure, heart disease, and stroke.
Hi, I'm Ashley Gass, strength and conditioning specialist with BrilliantAthlete.com. So just how do you reduce cellulite in the butt? List of materials, good exercise habits, great eating habits. Well, it's no different than reducing body fat. I'm going to call it body fat because that's what it is. Anywhere else. Women might accrue it a bit more than men, just possibly some hormonal influence, but it really comes down to improving your diet, eating properly, and strength training, okay? Improving your diet means cutting out all the processed packaged foods, eliminating and reducing caffeinated beverages like Red Bulls, caffeine, all your juices, fruit juices that you don't make yourself. Get those out of your diet, drink water instead, and increase your intake of vegetables, healthy proteins, healthy fats. So nutritionally, that'll take care of it. For a very complete guide on nutrition and how to take yourself from A to Z in a very intelligent, safe manner, go to BrilliantAthlete.com and pick up a copy of Precision Nutrition. It'll help you out with everything you need to know. And then second of all, you've got to start weight training. Emphasize movements like lunges, squats, deadlifts, single leg squats, all of the good lower body training movements that will help build muscle tone, lower body, and you've got to replace what's there, body fat with muscle tone, bottom line. So again, decreasing body fat or cellulite in your butt comes down to better nutritional habits, very good training habits, repeated for a long period of time, and give yourself 6 months to a year, you'll have a new body. Hopefully that helps. Thanks. I'm Ashley Gass with BrilliantAthlete.com.
So arteriosclerosis, narrowing down of the arteries due to the buildup of plaque. So when you narrow down your arteries, less blood goes to the heart. So heart contracts, it doesn't contract well, so it doesn't pump well. It doesn't send the muscles and other parts of the body enough blood. When you don't have enough blood, you cannot remove substances. It's not good for body. You have to remove some substances. You cannot remove it. You cannot remove your temperature. You cannot have enough oxygen, and you have thermoregulatory, metabolic, and cardiovascular stress. So the problem starts after that. You have many issues after that. So coronary artery disease, in the arteriosclerosis in the coronary arteries, not in regular arteries. The artery is in the heart. When you have problem narrowing down in your coronary arteries, you can have heart attack. You can have stroke. So when you have arteriosclerosis in coronary arteries, you have less blood comes to the heart. So when there is a deficiency in blood, you can have myocardial infarction, heart attack, due to the less blood in the heart, in coronary arteries. So sedentary lifestyle is a risk factor for cardiovascular disease. According to American Heart Association, American College of Medicine, in many organizations, it's the #1 risk factor for cardiovascular disease. So there are two major factors having you cardiovascular problems. One is obesity. Being obese, it means you are not having physical activity, you are not having good diet. Second factor is cigarette smoking. Two major factors, you have cardiovascular disease. When you do diet only, you can decrease body fat in the least amount. But when you exercise, you can reduce more. When you combine exercise and diet, you can decrease more fat. Also, you can have more lean body, muscles, when you do exercise and combination with diet. When there is a deficiency in physical inactivity, you can have coronary heart disease, stroke, obesity, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, cancer, stress, anxiety, osteoporosis, especially in women, and low back pain, and also other many problems. Exercise helps to prevent being obese, a major risk factor for several types of cancer. Being obese is a major risk factor for cardiovascular disease, as I said before. Exercise enhances immune function, activates antioxidant enzymes that protect cells from free radical damage. Also, recent studies prove that it is exercise is effective as antidepressant medication for the treatment of depression. Exercise reduces health problems, making you feel better, helps you sleep better, also controls your weight and enhances your self-esteem. It has also short-term benefits. It improves your memory, improves intellectual function, it improves your creativity. It has also long-term benefits. You lose your function when you get older, so age-related decline in the function decreases, especially in mental function and loss of short-term memory. This is the major thing exercise do it strengthens your heart. When your heart is strong, when your heart works efficiently, there are less stress in your body because you have more blood goes to your organs. Also, it lowers your resting heart rate, lower blood pressure, improves cholesterol levels, reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke. Another major problem for not being active because of being obese, muscles cells become more resistant to use insulin. But when you're active, you are more sensitive to insulin, you can use better. You can use insulin better. So there are less stress. When you're active, you build muscles, you use the foods very efficiently, you digest the food very efficiently, and your liver do less work to break down the glucose. And exercise is everywhere. You can do it at work. You can go by walking to do work. Anytime, in anywhere, we should take advantage to do exercise and physical activity. Not everybody can do physical activity, especially cardiovascular disease with family history, cancer, and other serious illnesses. They have higher risk of illnesses. Also, people over 80 years old, they have higher risk. And people with the current diseases like heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, and muscle and joint problems, they should see doctor before starting the physical activity. They should do risk stratification before starting exercise. And there is a strategy for that created by American College of Sport Medicine. How you start, what should be your blood pressure range, and etc. And general exercises, aerobic activity, it strengthens your heart and helps your cardiovascular system and other mechanisms. Strength training, it makes you strong. Flexibility training, they are the major activities for the physical activity. There are types of aerobic activities: walking, jogging, cycling, swimming, basketball, soccer, jumping rope. Also indoor activities: treadmill, stair climbing, stationary bike, elliptical trainer, rowing machine, aerobics, boxing. As far as it takes longer duration and slow intensity, it is an aerobic activity. It's called aerobic activity. It is not limited to these. Even you can create activities yourself. You can also do strength training, as I think most of you are familiar to this. Different organizations have different suggestions for minimum amount of exercise. For example, American College of Medicine suggests as minimum 3 days aerobic activity and 2 days per week strength training, and 3 to 5 days per week flexibility training. They should be at least 30 to 60 minutes total of exercise when you combine these. But different organizations have different suggestions, but similar to this. Timing of the Timing of the exercise depends on you, but it is better to do the same time every day. It is not suggested to eat before 2 hours. And when you are sick, especially if you have fever, you shouldn't exercise. Exercise for everyone. Some cultures, women don't exercise because of public pressure. It is not right. Everybody can exercise, especially disabled people. They should have different program, exercise program, but they should exercise too. People with cardiac disease, type 2 diabetes, they should advise to exercise physiologists to have their special program, because they have to go through the exercise testing before they start the exercise program. Here's the strategy to formula to be healthy. Access to healthy food should be increased. Change in social norms, like in some cultures, women do not exercise, so that norm should be changed. There must be other norms should be changed. Decrease access to unhealthy food. There are processed foods. We should decrease to use processed foods. Also increase access to physical activity. So when we do this, we can have healthier eating and more physical activity. Then we can have lower rates of obesity and other chronic diseases. Thank you so much.